Hello world, Bettina Carey here out of sunny Seattle, and I'm here with my favorite friend, dear friend and soul sister, Meko Lawson, who's cut from the same cloth. She's a global woman leader just like myself, and she is the founder and CEO of the National Professional of Women Color Network, PWOCN. It's the nation's largest member-based professional networking organization for women of color. Meko is passionate about empowering women and one another and is on a personal mission to strategically connect women of color throughout all 50 states and likely the globe. Formed in Washington State, PWOCN helps women of color to reach their career and business goals by providing a platform for strategic connections, collaboration, resources, and conducting business with one another. PWOCN has become a premier destination for diversity, job leads, professional development, personal empowerment, business promotion, and partnership. Individuals attending functions sponsored by or through the PWOCN are provided many opportunities to share their knowledge, promote their businesses, and share in a positive environment. Meko regularly conducts workshops and seminars. Of course, those are all now moving to virtual. And she's in demand as a speaker internationally and in the US. And she is currently developing a multimedia platform focusing on success tools for professional women of color. Welcome, Meko. It's so great to have you. I see you're outdoors this time.
I am. Thank you. I appreciate being able to be outdoors for a change.
Yes.
So please forgive the shades. There's sunshine in my face. So
yes. And you're on your way to a protest, I imagine, is what you were saying earlier. So you can share a little bit more about that too. But let me first start out by asking, back in 2002, you got struck by a idea, and you've been living and dreaming into that idea no matter what happens to you, just like me in 2002. Share a little bit about what came into your heart and your spirit and your soul and started calling you to being the leader of the Professional Women of Color Network.
Sure. Let's see, it's so long ago, it's hard to recall it all, but really I started the network almost out of accident. I really was just seeking to tap into a market. I was looking to tap into a market of women. I, at the time, was doing workshops for young women. And so I couldn't figure out, how do I connect to women? Because I was very clear the market was going to be mothers and aunties and different women who were going to sign their young ladies up for these workshops. And so I started the network out of a desire to connect with women, but it was really because I couldn't figure out where to reach my market. And so as I looked around Seattle in the early 2000s, I could not find an organization that fit my needs. I couldn't find an organization that looked like me or felt like me. And so I made the decision to start the Professional Women of Color Network, and it instantly connected with women of color here in the region, and it connected with women of color outside of this region. And so we hit the ground running and have been running ever since.
That's fantastic. I know a little bit about your story. Of course, along the way, we met one another. And I'm also a woman of color. I'm Puerto Rican. And we've collaborated, we've shared in the journey, we've divested ourselves of some of what we were doing at one point in both of our lives. And then we've restarted, rebooted, kicking back up a storm, and now living into this virtual world, in a different world than what we started in. So what are some of the shifts that you're making to reach professional women of color in your network?
So we're in an interesting time, right? We started out 2020. Our theme for 2020 was Vision 2020, not 2020 vision, but Vision 2020. And it's fascinating because I don't think 2020 has panned out the way anyone would have imagined. But the exciting thing about what's going on is it's creating the discomfort that is forcing us to move out of what we knew as our norm. It's forcing us to move out of this comfort zone that we found ourselves in that actually became a rut for many of us. as I've talked to countless women, I don't think I could count more than, you know, a dozen women who have said, absolutely fantastic. Everything is going the way I thought and going great. Most of us are saying, what the heck? And but it's an interesting time because it's an opportunity for us not only to challenge ourselves but challenge the things around us, and that's what we're seeing happening. And what I feel very passionate about as women of color is, how do we step into that? How do we lean into that? Because I think we've been used to being uncomfortable, but how do we do it in a way that now strengthens us as a whole, as a community? How do we really show our support for the women who are, you know, out on the front lines right now? And so 2020, I think, is an interesting time. It is definitely an opportunity for us to reimagine what connection is and what connection means in a time when we cannot touch one another or particularly gather together with one another. And so that's what I'm leaning into right now. That's what I'm exploring. How can we continue to maintain a connection to one another? How can we deepen that connection in spite of what's going on? And how can we build together and build with one another in a way that maybe we haven't imagined doing before?
Yes, I'm all with you. About a year and a half ago, I had this vision that came in that said, you need to step back up into your role as the women's empowerment leader. And the date is June 10, 2020.
Wow.
And I started living into June 10, 2020. And I even
Yeah.
had the idea that I would do both a live and a virtual event. And then lo and behold, it all became virtual.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, there's some possibilities in it being virtual. So now, instead of just having local women here from Seattle that could make it to this summit, the Women's Empowerment Summit that I'm producing, all of a sudden I have women from all over the world. I have people
Right.
from Germany
Yeah.
and Brussels and Texas and California and Colorado and New Hampshire and, you know, you name it, all over the world. We are seeing people that are signing up for the Women's Empowerment Summit. So you're going to be on the Global Women Leaders panel. I'm so
Yeah.
excited to have you for that.
I am excited.
And obviously, folks have just gotten a little taste of what's to come. How can folks get a hold of you in the meantime and going forward?
Sure. Our email address is info@pwocn.org. The website is pwocn.org. And we are on Facebook, we are on LinkedIn. Those are the places where we have our groups. So you can search for us. Our @ is @pwocn. So you'll be able to find us pretty easily on social media.
Fantastic. So I can't wait to welcome you on Wednesday, June the 10th for the Women's Empowerment Summit. It begins 8:30 a.m. and goes all the way till 8:30 p.m. We also have a line of speakers. It's more than 20 speakers right now. So you're not going to want to miss
Fantastic.
it. To register, go to women'sempowermentsummit.com or visit us at women'sempowermentmarketplace.com. You can also text us on the web, text us at 555-888 and text the word women, and we will get right back to you. That's text the word women to 555-888, and we will make sure you're on our mailing list. It's been a pleasure to have you, Meko. I can't wait to see you on Wednesday, and you have a great day. And of course, I'm standing proud and with you today as you're heading into the protest march. Bye for
Thank you so
now.
much.